In this video, expect a warm, fireside-like chat. Definitely with the autumn season rolling in, this is very relevant. We're going to talk a bit about being lost in life, as well as how to feel more alone rather than lonely, and moments of feeling lonely in big groups of people. We're going to touch on relationship insecurities and a few life updates. Don't forget to click subscribe, and thanks for coming by. Alright, this feels like the beginning of an ASMR video. Alright, I got my podcast mic, I got my tea, and today we're gonna feel alone together because lately I have been through a bit of a mental, emotional rut, and I find when I'm sad or I'm feeling down, creativity is what I go to as my safe outlet. And I figured, especially with the fall season coming in, summer coming to a close, the evenings and days getting cooler, especially with everyone staying inside a bit more now, perhaps you've caught the common cold as well, as you can hear it in my voice. I feel it's good if we check in with ourselves. You know, the year's ending. It's 2021 coming to a close in a few months. I think 80 something days left, which is a bit overwhelming. I feel 2020 was the year a lot of things crashed and burned, and 2021 was a mix of highs and lows of us trying to get back on our feet, some at different paces than others. And I feel now that 2022 is coming quite soon, a lot of us are thinking about how we are feeling right now. How has the past year gone by? And personally, especially with the weather changing and me being heavily affected mentally by the mood, I have been experiencing senses of loss, sadness, frustration, especially because I've been battling this common cold. Like right now I'm holding a ginger, orange, lemon, honey, turmeric, cinnamon tea. It's been doing wonders, by the way. And I'm coughing a lot. And if you are up to date on where I'm at currently in my life, I put most of the stories on Instagram. It's in the podcast description or YouTube description if you're keen on checking it out. I'm currently in Amsterdam, and I arrived here about a week-ish ago. I'm staying here for a few weeks, living here short term, and I haven't been able to enjoy it to the extent that I wanted to because I am sick. So yes, I've been able to meet people. No, it's not contagious. It is the common cold. There's no COVID symptoms. Like, it's just the sniffles and the cough. And the past 2 days, I feel why I'm coming to this podcast is because I want to get better. I decided my introverted self just needed to recharge and not see any of my friends, not explore anything in this new city, truly just stay home and recharge, refuel, spend time with myself, and heal my body and listen to it. I honestly felt a lot of fatigue lately as well. And again, I feel it's because of the cold weather coming in. And with this fatigue, I just feel exhausted even walking down the street sometimes. And with that being said, naturally, when you do feel a bit down, you start to do or get back into cycles that may not be the healthiest. Like recently, I stalked someone who I probably shouldn't be stalking online. And as I was doing it, I could feel this tightness, this burning feeling in my chest of negative feelings and emotions as I was doing it. And I wondered to myself, why do we continue to do these negative patterns, even though we know it's not good for us? And I feel it's because, again, it's that time of year where we're getting a bit tired. Our body's taking a toll on this transition of seasons. And I wanted to come on here today to acknowledge it, recognize it, talk it out with you today. Know that you don't feel, to help you feel less alone in this transitioning process. there was a few things I want to talk about specifically today. So if you see me look down from the book a lot, that is why. And I feel they're really common things, because if you're in school right now, you may be going through midterm season, and that is a very highly stressful time. I literally just graduated one and a half, almost what feels like 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago. And it's been a lot to try and figure out how to work on, my own schedule, do my own time, as I am an entrepreneur and digital nomad. But I do remember very clearly what my mental health was like during exam times or midterms, and it wasn't the healthiest. So I feel for you out there if you're someone that is going through that at the moment. I guess today I really just want for us to take a moment as well. Once acknowledging now that, yes, the seasons are changing, some of us are in a bit of a rut. Let's just breathe together for a second. I think it's really cool that this universe and life just happened to put us together, you and I, in this same space. I'm very thankful we're sharing this space, and with all the negative energy we're feeling, let's just take a moment together and breathe. So on the count of 3, we'll breathe in for 4 seconds and then breathe out for 8. Ready? 3, 2, 1, breathe in. Then breathe out. Again, breathe in. And breathe out. I find when I do deep breaths like that, my shoulders start to come back a bit more, because most of the time I spend slouching, especially in front of a laptop. However, when I meditate or I take like that two deep breaths to myself, I can feel my spine realigning and straightening out. Does anyone else find that? I personally love that because it reminds me to fix my posture, but also that my constant state, I don't want to be slouching all the time. So it's a good breather and a great way to reset my body if I feel I'm working a lot on autopilot, or I'm having moments like this where my mind's a bit muffled and I feel a bit cloudy and hazy mentally. So thank you for taking those 2 breaths with me, and I hope you feel a bit of a more easing sensation as we did that. And feel free to continue doing those breaths as we complete this session together, hanging out. Before we even get into the other topics, I'd love for us to just think about one thing we're grateful for. Today I went to the coffee shop with my journal, and I wrote 3 things down, and I'd love to open this space for us to just pause for a moment and reflect on something that excited us today, something that filled our cup, something that truly spoke to us, and to lay it out right now, to put it in our mind. I'll give you a few moments to think about that right now as I take my sip of tea. All right, so hopefully you found something that you resonated with that happened today. And for me personally, it was the pleasantness of the coffee shop servers at the place I was at. It's located 2 minutes away from my Airbnb, and you have to walk through a small little market, and the people are so nice there as well. There's flowers, food, different snacks, fresh produce especially. And there's a little coffee shop in the corner next to the fresh bakery stand. And all the locals seem to go there all the time because a lot of the servers know everyone by name basis. And whenever you hear someone walk in, one of the servers goes, "Oh my God, hi, hello, how are you? How are things?" And they ask about their personal life. And it's such a pleasant feeling to be in a small little community, even though you're only there for temporary. And anyways, the server was just really nice to me, and I appreciated her smile. It was so warm, and that's just something small I'm grateful for. It doesn't have to be anything big or extravagant. And feel free to really soak in what you were grateful for today. I feel sometimes what we're grateful for, we spend the time thinking about it, and it becomes just a fleeting moment in our day. Whereas I feel we should just sit down and really be present with it. And how I do that sometimes is I write out what I'm grateful for in full sentences in my journal instead of in bullet point form. So now that we've set the tone for this space, I personally feel a bit softer now after talking to you guys, my friends, as well as taking those 2 deep breaths. Like, I can even feel my shoulders kind of rolling back to that straighter position of me not slouching, now that I think about it a lot. I feel my soul a bit warmer after thinking about something small and pleasant that happened today. And I hope you're feeling that way too, hanging out with me. So one topic I really wanted to discuss today was the concept of being alone, but not lonely. And something that was brought up today in the comment section on my Instagram post was how you can still feel lonely even when you're surrounded by a group of people. There are loads of times throughout high school, even in elementary school, through university, even after, where I was with a group of people, whether it's on a night out, it's at a house party, just an intimate get-together, maybe like 7 people. And they're all good people. Everyone's quite pleasant, nice, but you just feel so alone. I feel that is a very underrated moment where the energy just isn't there. It's not matching to everyone else's, and you feel by yourself, even though you're surrounded by so many people. And maybe there's that one person you think about where, you wouldn't feel lonely anymore, even if they were there. So I feel with this example, the idea of loneliness is not about the people around you or the lack of people around you. Loneliness is a feeling, an energetic feeling you get where there's maybe no connection with something or someone, that there's this emptiness that sits. But it doesn't have to be filled by an actual human. There's just an emptiness there. Whereas I feel like being alone is a bit different. Being alone doesn't mean there's a void or an emptiness. It just means you were moving about still connected to yourself. That no matter what's going on in your environment, whether you're in a crowd or you're by yourself, maybe sitting at a coffee shop, you truly enjoy your own company. Your soul is being filled by you, by your energy, by your vibration, by your movements, by whatever it is that you're doing. You are fulfilling yourself. And that is something I am slowly learning to love again. Personally, with the pandemic, I experienced a very long lockdown, as many people did. I want to acknowledge, though, I was in a privileged position where I still had a roof over my head. I had my own bedroom to myself. I was living with my parents at the time. So I understand that it could have been a very different situation for many people in their lockdown, and I don't want to disregard that. Within the lockdown situation, I feel a lot of us, though, spent a lot of time by ourselves, operating in silos, not seeing as many people as we're used to. And personally, I can do being alone for a while. There were certain parts where I even lived on my own, like in Dublin, for example. My roommates went back to Canada, so I had to live on my own for a month or 2 before my boyfriend came to stay with me. I also felt alone even in my own childhood home sometimes, just because, I miss seeing my friends, I miss going out and adventuring. So let's just say I had a fair share of lonely and alone feelings this past year. So when things started opening up more, I eased into seeing more people, trying new things. I moved out of my parents' home and I moved in with my boyfriend for 2.5 months in Madrid, in Spain. So I lived there. However, due to us always being around each other, and because we did long distance for 14 months, so we did not see each other for 14 months due to the fact I just couldn't fly to Europe because of the government border and them not allowing Canadians to go. So the moment we saw each other, we wanted to make up for the year and few months time apart. And I had grown so used to his company within those 2 months that I started to feel attachment issues. And it used to hurt me a lot to say that, but once having conversations with other people in long-term relationships where they want to be this chill partner who allows their partner to go off and do things and explore things on their own, hang out with their friends, I felt a scarcity mindset, which means I felt because we had limited time together, because I knew I couldn't spend any longer with him due to visas and stuff, that our time together was precious, and I didn't. Sometimes I was like, why don't you want to hang out with me instead? And it was a very indirect, sorry about that. It was a very indirect way of being a bit controlling. And that was something I was not happy about. That was something I wasn't proud of, and something I wanted to change because I knew that was not healthy for our relationship. And we brought to surface and discussed it. So that's why I'm here in Amsterdam. I mean, I obviously wanted to go to Amsterdam for the longest time. Ever since I fell in love with the place 2 years ago when he brought me here for my birthday. And there's just so much about the city that I wanted to do. And it's always been my dream to be a digital nomad and travel. So the main reason of me moving out and living on my own was not due to my partner. I want to make that very clear. However, I did feel it was good that I was beginning my interdependent journey again and reminding myself how much I love my own company and how much I don't need to be dependent on someone else for my happiness. Now that I'm actually doing it and that I won't be seeing him until mid-December, which is about 2 months from now, I've grown to learn how to love my own company. And I made a small reel about it earlier, addressing how the media and entertainment industry encourages us that our happy ending is associated with having a partner and living a happily ever after in a healthy, prosperous relationship. However, I feel life is more dimensional than that our happiness actually stems from ourselves, and if we can fill our own cup before filling other people's. So I started to do a few things on my own here. I was a bit nervous because I didn't know the area. I actually had no friends coming here originally. I had 2 online friends that I never met in person, but other than that, I was truly starting from scratch. And for the first day, I did panic. And my first thought was, who was I going to go on a night out with on Friday? The young 20-something thought that goes by, right? And of course, I connected with my online friends, and they invited me to an evening, and I got to meet their friends, and the network just started to grow. Went on to Bumble, which I've never done before. I haven't tried an online dating app, haven't tried a friend-making app before, but my friends recommended it, went really well, so highly recommend jumping on that. And I started to find more peace within myself. This may just be a bit of my introvert side taking over. However, one thing I recommend if you're someone that's trying to get into loving being alone and reducing that anxiety or this potential shame or embarrassment or people thinking you're sad or lonely when you're doing these things on your own, I encourage you to go out and do those things by yourself, but take out your headphones. Don't listen to a podcast for a minute. Don't listen to any music. Just take in your surroundings. Observe the people going by. Look up at the sky. You don't understand how often I don't look up, and perhaps you may not as well. So look up at the sky, really move that neck around and soak in where you are. Because the beauty of being alone is immersing yourself in the present moment and not having other people to disrupt that or distract you. And of course you can have conversations with other people and still be very present. However, there's different ways to be present. And I feel the type where we're on our own is something we don't experience enough. So again, highly recommend, whether it's going to a coffee shop. Feel free to write these things down, by the way, or put it in the notes section on your phone. Write down, go to a museum by yourself. Go to the movies alone. Go to a restaurant and dine for one. Sit at a table for one. It is amazing. The amount of focus and how involved you are eating your food, suddenly everything just tastes better, I promise. And don't be on your phone while you're doing it. That's the one thing. When I said don't have your headphones in, also don't be scrolling on your phone. Truly submerge yourself into what you're doing. And trust me, living life suddenly just feels different. Other things to do, go grocery shopping, which you may already do on your own. I also explored a new neighborhood. Again, I have the privilege of being in a new city, so there's still a lot to explore. However, I still remember even during lockdown in my home where there were just areas I never bothered to explore because I was always on the go, but then I had the time to take a look and really figure out and discover, hey, this is actually my neighborhood. And I didn't know that park was there, or that the secret area or secret hike or trail was around the corner. You really get involved in your environment and try to find new things on your own, though. Again, this is something I'm slowly learning to love, but these empowering practices have truly brought me more happiness, and I'm very grateful I can be here with you and share a little bit of how I've been getting on with living alone. I find having soothing things are surrounding me as well when I'm at home by myself has been very pleasing. I put on my favorite YouTuber, and I watch that a bit, and it's just nice to take life at my own pace. And I highly recommend for couples, especially, to take that time for yourself and do things. I feel it's so important to learn how to love being alone while also in a relationship, and that you don't need to do everything with your partner, Because one thing I needed to remember and am living through now and fully emotionally, not just mentally, but emotionally understanding, is that I shouldn't be reliant on my partner to feel fulfilled. And as silly and logistical as that sounds, I feel like a lot of the time we know mentally what the right thing to do is. It's just making sure our heart is aligned with it as well. But yeah, so that's me right now. That was a lot I really just released on there. Some things I was a bit worried about talking about. However, I feel this may help someone out there who's going through something similar as well. As for my job, as we discussed earlier, if you're new here, I am a digital nomad, so I'm someone that has no concrete home. Again, I have my parents' home, but at the moment I've moved out and I'm just traveling the world as I work. I do social media account management, so I manage businesses, social media accounts for I manage social media accounts for other businesses, or I teach other businesses how to manage their accounts. I also do content creation like this, so podcasting, YouTube, Instagram, the whole shebang. One thing I'm looking into now, though, is making a bit of a small career pivot. So most of my income does come from digital marketing and doing that for other businesses. B2B it makes a lot of sense why a lot of money comes from that area, especially because it's very high in demand right now with a lot of businesses getting online. However, I want to continue scaling that, but also scaling my content creation side more. There's a lot I want to share in this world, and I just haven't had the chance to yet, especially because lockdown put me in a very emotional, dark place, and I just haven't been able to emulate these creative outlets and content for you that I feel will deeply help a lot of people out there, and also cultivate a safe space here. That's something I've been really wanting to do, and been doing for a long time. I've been wanting to do. So I feel now is the time to really explore and test that out. What I mean by that is forming a community, and I understand I have a small little community on Instagram. We all comment on each other's photos and talk about wellness and mental health and, each other's fashion outfits and stuff like that. However, I'd love to take that a step further and just really build a strong foundation for that. And I guess what I'm just trying to say is I'm trying to go bigger with my content creation, make that be the bigger source of income down the line, and then do social media, account management, digital marketing as a smaller portion of what I do. So I feel a bit lost in that. I'm not going to lie. Ironic because I'm a social media consultant and digital marketing consultant. However, I was discussing this with a client earlier. I don't want to be doing trending songs, okay? I didn't even blink when TikTok came out. I didn't even join TikTok until maybe a few months ago. And that's just because it didn't resonate with me. Not because I was trying to be all cool and stuff, because, I don't want to follow all the trends. No, that's not it. Even since I was younger, if something just didn't resonate with me, I didn't really want it. Especially when Uggs came out, when Blackberries came out, when everyone got their phone in elementary school. I didn't get a phone, guys, until university. Proper university. I was that girl that always asked my friend, can I use your phone to text my mom? With this, though, I feel, especially since the explosiveness of social media managers and social media gurus, a lot of people have many tips, What is your niche? Do you have a hashtag strategy? Believe me, I know this. I've taught this. I've made money teaching this. And it still works. It makes a lot of sense. And something I've realized, especially after investing in coaching programs, investing in learning these things, teaching things to other people, and seeing other people get results. This stuff works, okay? However, is it the way that you want to get where you are, though? I feel I'm in a place in my life where now it's not about getting to the destination. It's about how I get to the destination. So, for example, I want to grow my account, right? But I don't want to be doing it the way that's very hard sales or hard marketing or very funnel-based and structure-based. I want to do it energetically. And I know that sounds a bit weird to some people. My client earlier brought up something called the lean back approach, where you attract people not from hard selling or direct selling, but it's just the way you come off. Sorry, just checking my laptop percentage. It's just the way you come off to other people. It's treating your content as a way to just build a relationship with somebody, and that you're not, explaining, this is what I'm doing, and this is why you should do it, and really being strategic and sorting it all out. I just want to create and feel it, if that makes sense. Post because intuitively it's right, not because it's on a schedule. And this goes against a lot of marketing. Trust me, I graduated with a specialism in marketing. I've taught marketing. I understand what it is. I'm good at it. However, there's this side I'm exploring where yo, I just don't want to do all the trend stuff. It doesn't feel right to me. I have no connection. I know some people say, pick a trend, but put a twist to it. Apply your niche to what's trending and make it a bit different. Make it unique so you can still hop on the wave but stay true to who you are. I get that. However, it just still doesn't sit right with me. So right now, I'm just flowing through creating a better understanding of how I would like to go about marketing myself. Not because of the way all the freaking gurus are telling you to do it, but just the way that feels intuitively, energetically right to me. So right now, I guess I'm just looking for something, someone, or a plan to form where I am held accountable for it. I have guidance for it, or someone coaches me through this way or this approach to how I want to grow my business. However, right now, I'm kind of just enjoying life a bit, I'm moving back to Ireland for a few months next week. But that's just my little update on, not following trends. And I guess I just wanted to say, you're not alone. If you're a content creator as well, or you're just someone in life where you realize now you don't want to be focusing on the destination, you're more focusing on how is it that you want to get there. Because there's so many ways to get to point B in many things in life. Point B usually stays the same. It's just how you get there, and is it aligned to who you are? Does it follow your intentions and your values? Does it click with you? Because I feel the moment you do reach point B, you look back at how you got there, and are you happy with it? Does that make you fulfilled? Because when you think about it, most of the time you're going to spend is getting to that point B, not actually living through point B. Because once you get to point B, there's always going to be a point C. So truly consider what your process is right now in your goals. And then if you're happy with it, and know that even if it's not the popular way everyone else is going for, yeah, it's okay. Because your life is unique to your own pace and your own beliefs and your own intentions. I really enjoyed this sit-down chat. It's been a while since I've done one, and I honestly feel better, especially after this discussion. I feel lighter, even though we didn't discuss a hard plan of what we're gonna do out of this funk. I feel just acknowledging it, recognizing it, and taking those small moments for ourselves just to decompress, to reflect, to let go, are ways to get through it, because everything is temporary. This moment too shall pass. It's just what we do in those small increments that really matter and add up to what our future looks like. Again, I will catch y'all on the next one. And yeah, feel free to comment below your life update. Freaking what's going on in your life right now, man. I'd love to hear it. I'm currently living on my own life, even though my partner's gone. Back to the long distance, LDR, you love to see it. But yeah, love you guys lots, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.